It's 94.7 Blair Radio, and our local guest segments are brought to us by RVR Bank. I want to say thank you to them for being fantastic sponsors and partners of ours, as well as a great sponsor and partner of ours, Ryan, with National Land Realty is coming in, talking about, well, you're used to seeing scams on the phone, or getting email scams, but this is on a different level we wanted to talk about. But first, thank you, Ryan, for coming in and talking to us today.
Oh, you're welcome. It's always a pleasure to come in.
And so just tell us a little bit again about National Land Realty. We have a video out there from before, but...
Yep, National Land Realty, we specialize in farm, ranch, and recreational and commercial sales. We're one of the only real estate companies out there. We have our own Land Tour 360, which when we market your property, you can see it basically operating a drone from 300 feet, zoom in, zoom out, pan all the way around 360 degrees. Is a very good way to show off your property. I don't know. That's kind of the gist.
That's just it.
Yeah.
So if you have land or you're looking for land, you guys operate all across the nation, but you specifically for Nebraska, Iowa, South Dakota.
Yes, correct. I'm licensed in Nebraska, Iowa, and South Dakota. We have offices throughout 40 states. 40 or 42. We have a little over 400 agents in those 40 states. So yeah, we kind of have a big reach.
All right. So with that gives you an interesting perspective, because there is a situation on fraud. And I always think about it, when I see we'll buy houses. I'm like, well, does it matter if I own the house? But
you should own it to sell it.
Exactly. But it goes in along. It's actually that kind of thought there.
It is. It kind of has two frauds involved in here. One is identity theft, because they're acting like you and acting like they own it, and then the other one is property theft itself, where they try to falsify documents, record them, and then try to get a loan out on your property and or try to sell the property that you own. So there's kind of two different facets in what we've seen in the last couple years on scammers acting like they own a parcel of property, and it's been pretty prevalent on vacant, free and clear, or you inherited kind of a lot or farm or something that is just vacant land. It's been kind of on the rise on that. So this is, I don't want to scare anybody, but this is more of a public service announcement. I don't know.
Right. And because this is something that, well, everybody's dream is to have things owned free and clear, which you're saying that is something that is being targeted.
It's one of the trigger points, yes.
And so, or if somebody has been, inheriting something, and they're just in the process of what do we do with this? So,
well, it's inheriting it and or absentee landowners too, to where you're not there. They can see that, okay, the property is in one county and you live in a different county or a different state. They kind of look for that too, and then they research the county level and say, well, hey, there's not even a mortgage on this thing, so it's free and clear. So those are kind of the two bigger trigger points on vacant land that we're seeing.
And the scary thing is this could be happening on your land and you have no clue what's
Correct.
going on.
You have no clue.
So what happens? How does this happen?
I can give you a couple stories. One happened to me personally. I had a guy call me and saying, hey, I own this 40 acres in Iowa, like to sell it. Can you give me an idea of what it's worth? So I go through it and I say, okay, hey, it's roughly worth X, let's just say $8,000 an acre. And then, hey, owner, I notice you don't only own 40 acres, you own 120 acres. There's 3 total parcels there that are in your name, because they can say, hey, I'm Kelly, I own this. And you go to the court, or you go to the courthouse, you look at the records or online and you say, yep, it shows Kelly owns this. Okay, so we kind of move forward. Hey, it's worth this. But then during some of those phone conversation or texts that we have, things aren't adding up. Right. Your spidey sense start kicking in. And what it was for me, I was like, where I said, hey, you said you want to sell the 40 you own, but I also see you own 120 acres. And he, oh yeah, well, let's just go ahead and let's go ahead and do that. And I'm like, okay. And then you kind of go back into Ben Verified is another website, and you look it up, and the voice that I am talking to is kind of, our voices, 40s, 50s. But the people that actually own it, this Kelly was showing it's 82 years old. So there's a kind of a voice difference.
Right.
So then I started backing up and saying, okay, well, hey, and then I find out, well, hey, these people actually, even though they own the farm in Iowa, which is a few counties away, they live in Omaha. I just get my truck, I go there, knock on the door, talk to this lady. I'm like, hey, this is what's going on. At first, I was a little nervous. I swear to goodness that this lady was going to shove a shotgun up my nose, and because she was like, "We're not selling our farm. It's not for sale." I'm like, I get that, but I want to explain to you what's happening.
Right.
So we kind of, pumped the brakes on that one. Was able to stop that one, but then we've had it go as far. So you take that same scenario. One of our brokers in Arkansas, they actually got it. He actually listed it. Actually got an offer on the table. Then they were trying to close it because this person was saying, I'm overseas, I'm in the Air Forces, I'm in Korea or something like that. I could go to the U.S. Embassy and get it all done there. Well, with the title company or whatever, they just couldn't get through the verification process. So thank goodness the funds weren't distributed.
Wow.
So it happens. So with those two stories, there are things out there that will help. And this is kind of the point that I want to get across. First, I want to scare you. The second thing I want to do is get a point across. There are services out there that will help you with your property that you have. Went to Washington County to the Register of Deeds there and was talking to them. There is a website out there, and there's a few companies. I just need to say this. There's a few companies I'm going to say by names. I'm not paid by them. These are resources. So please look into them. The first one, it's free. It's called propertyfraudalert.com. That's a free service. There's multiple states on there, but not all counties are on there. So we're lucky Washington County is on there, but our county to the north, Burt County, is not on there.
Okay.
So if you go on there on propertyfraudalert.com and you see, I live in this county, but it's not on there, I guess you can nominate that county.
Okay.
And then so maybe they'll add it to it. So then what you do is you put in there the name that you hold your parcel into. So I just put Ryan Schroeder on there for one of mine. And if you have a different LLC, you just put in your LLCs of how you own your property. Mm-hmm. Now, if anything is, what do you want to say, filed up against your property, you'll get an email. So that's kind of how you're alerted. So you can get you haven't stopped it, but you're getting alerted so it doesn't get any further.
Right.
Then you can get in there and say, hey, no, stop this. I didn't sell it. I didn't do anything.
Right.
So that's a free service. We've heard and seen it advertised as Home Title Lock as another one. Mm-hmm. That's a paid service, and that's about $20 a month per parcel. The same thing is you register your name or your parcel number on those, and if anything is filed, you get notified. Now, the difference between this service and the free service is they have trigger alerts where if something's filed, you get an email. And let's say something, and they also trigger alert is if it gets listed on like the MLS.
Oh, sure.
So your property parcel number comes up there, you get an alert saying, hey, your property is up for sale. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Or is this you or not? And then if, let's say, a person is got it to the closing table, funds are exchanged hands, the title has moved to a different, this Home Title Lock, they have attorneys, they'll pay for it to get it restored back.
Oh, okay.
So that's the plus for having a paid service.
Right. Otherwise, it could be a very expensive process to be able to back out of this whole thing.
Yes, yeah.
And so it's going to cost people something no matter what.
Right. And you think about, property is expensive, especially if you get a farm. If you have $1 million, that's what they're trying to get and to get transferred over in their bank account.
Yeah.
And then you're left holding the bag and trying to figure out what's going on.
Right. Not only you, but then the purchaser who's not involved in it. They're just, looking to buy property.
Yeah. They thought they were getting their dream property or dream home, and there they sit. They're like, what am I to do next?
So again, is there anything that can be done, just kind of general looking, but you don't want somebody just staring at their computer all the time, always scared.
Yeah, exactly. And and us as real estate agents, we've gone as far as like, okay, we get a call from Kelly. Hey, Kelly, things are not really adding up or smelling a little funny, and you're like, hey, send me your driver's license. Well, anybody can fake a driver's license, and you can go on. Like, I don't know what an Arizona one looks like, but you can go. There's websites out there that'll show you what Arizona license plate or
Right.
like
Driver's license.
license
Yeah.
looks like. So, and it's the other things too is like, you know, there's times where we got potential sellers or potential clients, and we're starting asking for some of this verification. They get a little snippy with us. So it's kind of like we're just trying to do our job and trying to protect the public as best as we can.
Right, and that's also a sign right there if they're not willing, because obviously if they are the owners, if they want to sell it, they're going to be upfront about everything.
Yeah, exactly. So that's like I said, don't want to scare anybody, but this is one thing that we've kind of seen, evolve into this. So
Yeah.
we've had 3 different cases that I know of within National Land where
What's the time frame of those cases?
within the last 2 years,
2 years?
easily, year and a half.
Okay, so it is a fairly new
Yes.
issue.
Yep, it is. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we've had one agent, list kind of a smaller vacant lot in town, in a smaller town. And this one guy called the agent and says, well, no offense, but how the heck did you get that listing? Because I do everything for this guy, so I don't understand.
Yeah.
And those guys were able to piece it together, find out that it was fraud, and then turned it over. And like I said, that side of fraud where someone's trying to be the seller, that's identity theft. So there's also, what was it? LifeLock was another one for identity. So there's always like 2 different identities that go on, or
Yeah.
2 different frauds that go on in there.
So if anybody has any questions, what should they do right now?
And what they should do is first go to the propertyfraudalert.com and see if your state is on there, see if your county is on there, and just sign up. Put your property, how you hold the property, put that in there to get an email alert. That right now is probably the best thing you can do. That's free. And then
And at least it gives you a heads up when something does happen.
Yes, it does.
And so again, that is just getting the information out to say, oh, by the way, there was an alert or something triggered on your property. 'Cause
Correct.
right now, everybody's thinking about, like you said, identity theft is a big issue, and what's happening with my credit cards, what's happening at the bank.
You don't
Now
think about your
You
property.
don't think about your property.
Yeah,
So
you think that's pretty well secure and sitting there, and
who can do what about that?
yeah, exactly. Because I can remember, well, driving to one of my clients. We were closing, and I had a member of the title company sitting there. We were talking about this when it kind of first started coming out. We're like, you got to forge so many things, and then have it notarized and filed. It's like, how are they even doing this?
Yeah.
And it's just kind of coming around full circle.
And it's actually not new. It's been going on for decades or centuries. But with technology, that's when
Yep.
people are starting to figure out different ways to do things.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
So, okay. Well, again, or you can always call Ryan, National Land Realty, and say, hey, what's the best way for me to move forward?
Yeah, we're kind of a land nerd, so I usually like talking about little items like this.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be, don't call me call me to buy or sell your property. But, if you just have general questions, I'm always happy to talk.
All right. Well, again, thank you for alerting us to something that really hasn't even thought about. But again, trying to keep every aspect of your life safe. Thank you for bringing something out
Yes,
of the
sir.
box.
Yes, I appreciate it. Thanks
So-
for the time.
Yeah, National Land Realty. Again, you can find them nationalland.com.
Correct.
So thank you very much for your time.
Yes, thank you, Kelly.